Hey there guys, I'm SonicGhost and welcome back to some more Let's Play Splatoon. Last time, we made our way through the World 4 levels via the Inkling Squid Amiibo challenge. So, let's go ahead and finish up the remaining set of levels here via the Inkling Squid Amiibo. Why hello there, how goes it? I'm doing good on this fine day, as today we are finishing up our last set of Amiibo challenges, starting off here with our final limited ink challenge at level 23. Spongy observation. More ink, less shrink. So our final limited ink challenge puts us back on a map with sponges, which makes a lot of sense. These sponge levels tend to use a lot of your ink tank. This section is going to be our first challenge. We got to defeat these Octo stamps to move on, but we don't actually need to shoot them to win the battle, as if they hit one of the sponges, they will paint the area around them, which will shrink the sponge, causing the stamps to fall into the bottomless pit. It's really convenient for our sake. Here I'm going to stay on this one sponge, and then the sponge in front of me, I'm going to paint a little bit, so we can use it to get to the other side, taking us to our launch pad. Not even interacting with this enemy here whatsoever. Now we're going to do the same thing to this section, just jump on the first sponge in front of us, paint the other one just slightly, and now we get ourselves a special here, the Inkzooka. With this, we don't have to worry about our ink tank whatsoever, as we can use the Inkzooka to paint everything around us, which saves a lot on our ink. And if you're fast enough, you can also use it to paint the wall here. That takes you to your next launch pad. So that section, outside of one little pellet of ink, we didn't have to use anything at all from our ink tank. Here we got ourselves some more balloon fish, so we'll use these to paint the sponges around us, which is going to be extremely convenient. We're going to be careful not to have the enemy in front of us notice us, because that guy will throw bombs our way, and we don't want that, as that's going to shrink those said sponges around us. In fact, he's trying to throw bombs now when we're nowhere near the guy. Here, I don't mind these guys throwing bombs right now, because they're just going to go into the abyss. And if they're close enough, those enemies will die right away, which is very convenient. Here, I'm just going to paint a little bit around my feet and not even bother with the sponge in front of us, because we don't need it to progress the level. Got ourselves some more balloon fish here and some more sponges, so we'll climb up these said sponges and be very, very careful in the process. I saved enough of my ink tank that I'm just going to take care of these enemies at this point. I'm not even going to humor these guys, because honestly, this section, a little too nerve-wracking, I say, as I almost fell because of a stray bomb. As you can see, really not ideal to be leaving any enemies behind if they're going to destroy the floor around you. Here we are at our final checkpoint. We got ourselves another special here, another Inkzooka, so we don't have to use any of our ink in this final battle. So this is going to be very convenient. I'm going to use this and just attack pretty much every Octarian I see with the Inkzooka. Inkzooka in face, instantly destroyed. Guess you should have reacted harder, am I right? But now with that reaction meme out of the way, I swear people could be really negative. That's a spongy observation completed with limited ink. For completing spongy observation, we got ourselves 1,800 gold. A good chunk of change. Now with that limited ink challenge done, that is our final one here with this Inkling Squid Amiibo. So let's move on to our next level here, which is a Kraked challenge. Level 24, Pinwheel Power Plant. Slip through defenses. Well, these fences aren't going to be hard for us to slip through, because with a Kraken, these things are a joke. We can literally just swim through this whole level, and outside of platforms being in our way, there's really not much of an obstacle here. So this is going to be a fast one. It's going to take out any enemies we see along the path here, which we really don't need to do, but if they're in my way, might as well. Climb up this said wall and activate this said ink rail. And as we're going around the said level, you may have noticed this whole time of me playing every single level up to this point via these Amiibo challenges. And when I get to the top of the wall, I will leave my squid form momentarily and then transform back after the fact. This is actually a faster way of climbing up walls in Splatoon, and this works for all 3 games. So when you're climbing up a wall using your squid form, there is a little bit of downtime once you get up on the final part of the wall, transferring back over to the ground. And that little bit of downtime, you can actually skip out on by just transforming back into your human form briefly, and then back into your squid form. So it's essentially you just holding down the ZL button, and then letting go and pressing it once more once you climb to the top of a wall, going into the next section where you actually just want to climb in your normal human form, or once again swim around. It just makes things a lot faster, and it's a speedrun tech that I use in all 3 games just to make my life a lot easier. But with that talk out of the way, that's Pinwheel Power Plant completed. For completing the Pinwheel Power Plant, we got ourselves 1,900 gold. A good chunk of change. Let's move on to our last level here in World 5, level 25. Far-Flung Flutters. Inkling versus Machine. Our final level here in World 5 has us going through the second and final Flutter level here. And unlike the first Flutter level we played through, there's no crazy speedrun strats that we can utilize here, no major skips. So this level is going to basically just be nothing but optimization, knowing what enemies to fight and not to fight, and also using the Wii U Gamepad's map here to tell you exactly where you need to go to get your said keys to go to the next section. But do remember, Kraken is invincible to the said Flutter, so we can just go straight underneath one of these Flutter's gushers and not take any damage whatsoever, which bypasses the entire challenge of this level. So we're already at the final checkpoint area here. I'm gonna hit just for good measure, even though we don't really need to hit the checkpoint, but if I jump straight into a bottomless pit, I'm probably gonna want the checkpoint. So we'll grab ourselves our key here from the sniper, activate our gate here, and make our way to the ending. Grab ourselves some extra eggs. In a suggestion, nice bomb. Immediately fell right off the ledge, but we don't need them. We had 9999, so it doesn't matter. But that's Far-Flung Flutters, complete with the Kraken. For completing Far-Flung Flutters, we get ourselves 2,000 gold. A good chunk of change, and our final money reward from these Amiibo challenges. And speaking of, we got ourselves our final challenge here on the docket after beating all the levels here in World 5. Let's finish this! Enter the Octobot King. Help! DJ Octavio escaped while eating my Krabby Cakes! Again. Really gotta stop leaving Cuttlefish alone, because this can't keep on happening. But this is our final time that we're going to be fighting DJ Octavio. But as we can see with the timer on the top of the screen, it's going to take quite some time, as this is a 14-minute timer. Not much of a speedrun level, as this is basically just a glorified auto-scroller at the end of the day here. All we can really do to speed up this fight is make sure we don't miss any of these attacks back at DJ Octavio. Using the Kraken, we can knock back all the attacks to Octavio in one fell swoop. When he's saying you're all ready for this, we already know we're into our first major attack here from the first phase. So let's knock back these hater shades and move on to phase 2. The only real thing we'll have to worry about in this fight, I will say, as the Kraken is invincible, is the killer whale. As while the Kraken is invincible to the killer whale, it's not immune to the said knockback from that special. So while the killer whale can't kill you directly while you're in your Kraken form, it can push you off a ledge if you're too close to a pit. So we gotta be very careful where we're at with the killer whale, and it's still recommended to dodge the killer whale shot, even in the Kraken form, just to be safe. But with how long of a fight this is, and the fact that this is our 4th time in total fighting this guy, I want to take this time to talk about all these Amiibo challenges that we've played. And since this is our final one here, we won't be having any more Amiibo challenges on the docket here after this. And I will say, of all the different Amiibos between the Inkling Girl, Inkling Boy, and Inkling Squid, I say if you only have to get one of these figures, the Inkling Squid is probably the one to get, as this gives you the most bang for your buck. The fact that we can make our way through a set number of stages here via the Octo Valley using Kraken with a time limit, or a limited ink setup in any kind is really interesting and adds a brand new way of playing through these levels. Don't get me wrong, I do enjoy playing through these levels with the Inkling Girl and Inkling Boy amiibo challenges with the Hero Charger and Hero Roller, but you're really just playing through the same stages at the end of the day with a different weapon, and that's basically it. Outside of that, they feel very similar to how they did with the Hero Shot. And in some cases, some of those levels got a little too easy with some of those weapons. The Roller was very powerful in some stages, making some threats, especially with certain bosses, very simple. And same goes for the Hero Charger. Some levels were a joke because of our distance factor with the set Hero Charger, making those levels even easier. I don't really see myself going back and playing levels with the Hero Charger or the Hero Roller nearly as much as I do with the Inkling Squid setup here between the Kraken and Limited Ink. In fact, I play a lot of these challenges from time to time with the Kraken specifically because of the speedrunning element. I really like the idea of running through these levels as fast as I can and seeing how low can I get my time. As when this game first came out in 2015 and I was getting really into playing this was when I was really into speedrunning. I was watching speedruns all the time via live streams on Twitch, watching speedrun events like Awesome Games Done Quick and Summer Games Done Quick, and even ESA, which is the European equivalent of Games Done Quick, known as the European Speedrun Assembly. And not to mention watching a lot of individual level runs of games on YouTube. I was just really into the idea of just speedrunning in general, so to have a mode like this in Splatoon where it basically encourages you to go as fast as you can was a really nice addition, and it really helped itch that like speedrun urge that I had at this time, as I could never really get into full speedruns of a game. I just could never really do it myself due to how demanding that could be time-wise and even just difficulty. But I admired what I've seen people do for speedruns, and Splatoon has a really good speedrun community as well, while they're also still finding new stuff about this game even to this day. At the time of recording this video, there was a major discovery found in the any percent category of Splatoon 1, which completely changed how that run plays out, which saves a lot of time. If you look at leaderboards from a year ago to now, you'll see a drastic difference in some of the top times because of this new discovery that they found. Skipping a whole set of levels, which is impressive enough when we had World 4 skip already when the game first came out. Years later, now we found another skipping even more levels, which is insane to see. But it also shows that the community is still very active for Splatoon. Not just in the multiplayer scene as we've seen before the game shut down with all these different people that play Splatoon all the time in the competitive scene talking about Splatoon 1 and wanting to head back, along with the fan base as a whole wanting to play Splatoon 1 one final time before the show was shut down. The speedrun community is also very active for single player, so even though the online is no longer a thing on the Wii U, you'll still see plenty of people go back and play the single player mode, whether it be just casually or for a speedrun sense. And this is like the one thing about Splatoon 1 I really admire, because having all the single player content is really good in hindsight, just because of how once server shut down for a game, it's completely useless to the consumer at that point if it has nothing but online components. And in the case of Splatoon, we thankfully can still play this game even after the online is no more because of all of the single player content between the main game and the Amiibo challenges. And Nintendo didn't even need to make more single player content for these said Amiibos, as they could have easily just released these Amiibos just to give us some more gear and maybe extra little options that we can play around with in Splatoon. Like, they could have just made the Amiibo simply just for the gamepad minigames and that was it. But they went above and beyond by adding all these different challenges to the Inkling Girl, Boy, and Squid. And it showed that it didn't need to do that, but by adding this extra single player content to Splatoon, they gave this game a lot more replayability. And it was essentially kind of like DLC in a fashion too, having these said Amiibos. But these said extra little pieces of quote DLC didn't really change much of the core game. So if you didn't have these amiibos, you weren't really missing out on anything all that major. But if you had these said figures, it added a whole new layer to your single player experience, which I do appreciate. In later Splatoon games, they just use amiibo for gear at this point, and also for little extras too, like taking pictures with certain characters via the amiibo. And then also in the case of Splatoon 3, we can use the amiibo to save freshest fits, which is the game set up for presets essentially for all your gear, your weapons, and your controller settings. And you can save these set freshest fits to your amiibo, which helps raise the limited 5 set of freshest fits in Splatoon 3 to as many freshest fits as you have amiibo. And if you're like me and you have the entire Splatoon amiibo collection, that's a lot of freshest fits. So I have a lot of possibilities when it comes to all of the different setups that I want to use in Splatoon saved as presets. And all I gotta do to use these extra presets that I can't store into the game, all I can do is just scan an amiibo into Splatoon 3, and I can use all of those said presets all at once, which is very convenient, but it doesn't add any extra content to Splatoon. I just get extra gear and extra freshest fits, so I can have more weapon picks, but it doesn't give me more single player content. And that's what makes the Splatoon 1 amiibo set very interesting, but also very valuable too. And if you have to pick one of these amiibo, I would say the Inkling Squid is the best pick, as the variety between the Kraked speedrun challenges here, along with the limited ink challenges, makes for some of the most replayability when it comes to the set 3. The Inkling Girl and the Inkling Boy, you have to ask yourself, do I want to play these levels with the Charger or the Roll respectively? And now we'll answer the question if you want to pick up those set amiibos for the single player content. But if you had to just pick one, I would say Inkling Squid is your best bet, as it gives you some of the most creative level design from these amiibos in general, I feel. But we're at the end of the Octavio boss fight here. We just gotta wait for one more fist to launch our way, knock him back into Octavio, and now it's time for the final set of attacks. So here we go. Let's do this. I'ma dub stomp you into oblivion. Gonna be very careful here. Watch out for the killer whale. And at this point, I'm just gonna use the hero shot to knock back the hater shape ball, because that's gonna make things a little bit easier. But now for the final hit, we will use the Kraken. And that is it. Finish him, bucko. Octavio reaches the ground, jump with Kraken, and finish him off. Not again. So sad. Crossfade to black. Where does pedestal come from? That's fine, I'll take my Zapfish and get out of here. That's DJ Octavio defeated with the Kraken. For defeating DJ Octavio with the Kraken, we got ourselves the Hero Shot replica. Now we can take this blueprint to Sheldon and get the Hero Shot from the single player, a weapon that you would know all too well by playing the single player even without having any of these amiibos. But with the Inkling Squid, now we can use this in our multiplayer mode. So let's take it to Sheldon. Hello? Oh, I'm afraid you're offline right now. Come back when you're connected to the internet. I really feel like we gotta change our calendars or something, because I keep on thinking that this is before April 8th, 2024, and it's past that, so I can't connect to the internet. The internet doesn't exist in the towers anymore. So, Time machine? Time machine. Man, time machines. Am I right? I mean, they keep on taking us back before the Wii U servers are down. So we can play either some Turf War or Rainmaker here with our Hero Shot replica. And I'm going to be playing some Rainmaker here with the said weapon. But before we do so, let's go ahead and take a look at my equipment here. As I am rocking not only the Hero Shot, but we're also using the Power Armor we unlocked from our Inkling Squid Amiibo. So we got ourselves the Power Mask here with defense up as its primary, with bomb range up, more defense up, and some damage up as secondaries. We got the Power Armor here with quick respawn on its primary with some special saver, along with 2 more defense ups on its sub slots here. And the Power Boots for our last thing has Ink Saver main as the primary ability with some damage up, Ink Saver main, and quick respawn for its sub abilities. And as for our Hero Shot replica, it has Burst Bomb and the Bomb Rush special of Burst Bomb variants. And the special depletion on this weapon is light. So now with our gear looked at along with our weapon, let's go ahead and jump into some Rainmaker. So here we go, Rainmaker on Kelp Dome. This is a map I haven't played Rainmaker on in a little while. I mean, this is one that appeared, I feel like, almost every time I was playing Rainmaker at one point in Splatoon 2. But here in Splatoon 1, yeah, I have not played Kelp Dome Rainmaker in a long time. But this is a map that doesn't take too long to get a knockout on. So we'll see how things go. Not going to grab the Rainmaker right away, as that would not be the best idea. Trying to be careful here not to get taken out, but hey, at least I got one of the foes taken care of. The NZAP's the only one left. Gonna jump back into the middle here. Looks like it's a safe spot to jump in. So we're perfectly fine. Take out that sprinkler, as that never stopped going off, unlike Splatoon 2 and 3, where that does slow down after a while. Doesn't happen here in Splatoon 1. Be careful, take out the NZAP here. And unfortunately, our Rainmaker guy did get defeated, so that's not the end of the world, because we're just going to go ahead and grab the Rainmaker once again. Now throw me some Burst Bombs here. Might as well just use it against the shield. Even a Burst Bomb Rush is not good on Rainmaker. It is one of the worst bomb rushes to have for the Rainmaker shield. It'll do next to no damage. And be careful, because I know that if I move too much, they will see me and I will die. I'm trying not to have that happen, because I don't want to immediately get kicked. That would be really bad right now, to leave and not help my team, even though I wasn't really doing much over on the other side. Trying to get the guy up on the grates. We get him a little bit, and thankfully, my teammate with the roller was able to finish the job, so my death was not in vain. We got the Rainmaker again, that's good, so now let's get it back over on their side. Didn't really get too far from the looks of things. I'm not going to go for the Rainmaker shield, as I don't think that would be the greatest idea, especially with a Seeker Rush going off right now. Take care of the guy with the Seeker Rush, and unfortunately, a Splatter Scope is here, ready to take us out. Not much I can do about that. It's okay. We can make our way over to where the Rainmaker is, try to pressure a little bit more, and see what we can do to try to get this thing out of this area at this point. The one moment I look down at my map, a carbon roller comes over. That was the worst time to look down, because we lost the lead out of that. This is why I don't miss having 2 screens to play a game like Splatoon, because it was very easy for situations like that to happen all the time here in Splatoon 1, where if I just grab this said Rainmaker and I'm not paying attention to my surroundings because of looking down at my said minimap, then yeah, needless to say, I will die very fast and easy. Case in point, there I go dying, but I was at least aware of my surroundings that time. I just didn't know that there was a Spider Scope around the corner. So the gamepad, while was a cool thing to have for some multiplayer, it wasn't the best thing after a while to play with the gamepad, just because it was very distracting. And that doesn't help in a situation like this, where every second matters in a game like Splatoon, so we don't want to lose out on something just because we're looking down. That would be kind of a problem. And be careful not to overdo my said bomb rush there, because once a bomb rush is done, you start throwing the bomb you have, which is very easy to do without even knowing it, because it ends so abruptly, you don't even realize that your bomb rush is done. And now you're chucking away your own bombs using your own ink. So be very careful about that, and be very mindful of your ink tank. I'm gonna grab the Rainmaker here. See someone behind me, so I'm gonna be very careful. Try to at least take that guy out. Don't want to be in a really bad spot here because I can get picked off at any point from the said charger. So that'd be bad. See teammates saying come on, so I'm definitely gonna follow him because I want to stay in a group with Rainmaker. I don't want to go too far ahead of my said team because then we won't be able to make any progress. And if I die, then that's it for the said Rainmaker. So I don't want to drop this. Take the lead, and now if I can sneak right in, we can dunk it, ending the game instantly. This is why you listen to your teammates in Rainmaker. If someone sees a clear path and says, come on, you listen to the guy. Stay in a group, and look at what it does. I was that teammate my team loves to have, because that rarely happens in solo queue. And with that, we were able to win the game in one good push. That was a fantastic game of Rainmaker, and a really good comeback story from my said team. Didn't really use the hero shot all too much there in the second half, but it's a pretty solid weapon, just not the biggest fan of the burst bomb rush kit. It's just not the most useful, especially in Rainmaker. It's pretty good in Splat Zones, but not really for Rainmaker. But now with our game of Rainmaker down, that is gonna do it for the Inkling Squid Amiibo challenges. And now we were able to take a look at not only the gear we unlocked from that set Amiibo, but also the weapon, which makes our final Amiibo here that we were able to use when it comes to the said single player campaign challenges. As there are only 2 more Amiibo left, but they only really interact here in the said plaza. But this is not the end of this little revisit back to Splatoon 1, as there is one more thing I would like to do to end things off before these servers close. After all, my time machine can take us back in time before the server shut down, but I can only do it one more time. So we'll take advantage of that last trip back to the past next time around. Next time on Let's Play Splatoon, we'll give this game one final send-off and look at the last 2 Amiibo one final time. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you guys next time.